this is one I've been pretty excited to unveil. Our top 5 biggest rivalries in all of motorsports history. Now, you could probably interchange this top 5 that I've got. It was hard. It's hard to pick 5 from all time.
Yeah, it's
really
almost not really ranked. I wouldn't say top, yeah,
exactly.
special order.
But these are the 5 most, I would say. But you got to put numbers on everything. So, and I put a dirt racing in here, and I got a little bit of everywhere. So it's you kind of had to pick where you want to put them. So
I've got 3 dirt.
All right. Well, I'm going to start off with number 5, and this will actually make you actually probably excited about this. I got Snake and Mongoose from drag racing. Yeah,
it's on my list.
Yeah, Don, is it Prudhomme?
Don Prudhomme.
Prudhomme. Okay. Yeah.
Tom Mongoose McEwen.
Yeah. I mean, probably the first drag racing rivalry there was.
And if you ever see the Snake and Mongoose movie, if you haven't seen it, it's a really good movie. They're not rivals; they're actually quite good friends.
Well, rivals, and here's the thing with
they made it. Hot Wheels had their cars, so they kind of made that the rivalry set.
Well, here's the thing about rivalries. It doesn't have to. They don't have to hate each other. It's a rivalry where, like, hey, you both might be the best of that time period, and you're just. It's either one of you that's going to get a win. Doesn't mean it's a hostile rivalry. Now there might be one or two in here that's a hostile rivalry.
Yeah,
but
I got rivalries one for sure.
Rivalries also go with competition, and you compete against your fellow guy, and that builds the rivalry up. So I got Snake and Mongoose. That's my number 5. Number 4. Here's a hostile one. I've got Cale Yarborough and Donnie Allison. You can probably throw Bobby Allison in there a little bit too, but it was really Cale and Donnie that, I mean, if y'all live under a rock at 1979 Daytona 500, they didn't talk to each other for decades. Like, they hate each other. Like, even when they were old men, and they still hated each other. I was like, damn, you guys hold grudges a long time. So, yeah, classic right there. Cale Yarborough and Donnie Allison. Number 3, dirt racing, sprint car, World of Outlaws, the 2 of the greatest that you can have, and we're going to actually talk to one of these guys here coming up. Sammy Swindell and Steve Kinser. If y'all don't know, it was on the track, yes, rivalries, because, I mean, it was either one of them, and the only one that can really beat Steve on more of a consistent basis was Sammy. He's the first one that actually beat Steve in the championship. Didn't happen a lot, but because Steve won 20 damn things. But they also weren't the friendliest to one another. Let's just put it that. I'll let you touch on that in a minute, because you actually lived through that rivalry, and that went all from the 80s all the way into the 2000s. I mean, and when we talk to Sammy, that's probably gonna be one of our questions. Do you still hate Steve? Or something like that. All right, the next one. And this one, I couldn't choose which one, and I just said, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, this is what I went with. I went Dale Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon, the 1990s rivalry, and I'm not sure if they really went back and forth in the garage, but they would always talk shit about Gordon and in the interviews and everything. Gordon didn't really say too much. Gordon would just go out on the track, and everybody hated Gordon because he would end up beating Dale. So it was like, you're either a Dale fan or you're a Gordon fan back in the 90s, and that's what really made the rivalry special. The other honorable mention with that, I was going to I was possibly looking at Dale and Waltrip. So, they were best friends, but on the track, that was like huge rivalry. Number 1, and I think this is a pretty legit. This is not a hostile one at all. More of this is probably 2 best competitors in IndyCar racing of all time: AJ Foyt and Mario Andretti. 60s and 70s. I mean, it's like who do you go with here between AJ?
Well, just IndyCar. Back in
and racing.
Too.
Well,
I mean, those guys raced.
When one went to another series, the other's like, I'm going to do that too, because I can't let you one-up me. And neither one did, and both are all-time greats. So not as a hostile rivalry there, but just one of the biggest competitive rivalries that you can see of all time. There's my 5. Go ahead with yours.
Okay, so mine are some of the ones that I've personally witnessed on here. So this is, I was thinking, we had at AJ and Mario, I didn't put that on my list. Ford versus Chevy. I mean, that's the redneck rivalry going right there.
Yeah.
And so didn't make it. But at 5, I have World of Outlaws versus the Pennsylvania Posse.
Okay.
Especially,
you just went
it
broad.
may
Okay.
not be quite as much as a rivalry as it was back in the 80s and 90s. All of the Pennsylvania great drivers, they're either not racing anymore or getting old, Lance. So it's,
God.
Well, sorry. I mean, we don't seem to have
I'm gonna clip
the
that and send
new
that
guys
to
that
Lance,
are.
be like, damn.
I don't know. Pennsylvania just don't seem to have the new drivers that are really at the same level as the Outlaw drivers.
Yeah.
That, I mean, Brent Marks, Dietrich and Sprite. I mean, Lance can still drive. He hits it just right. But Freddie Raymer don't seem like he is consistent enough. Which comes up to number 4. Fred Raymer and Jeff Shepard in the early 2000s. These two did not like each other. And this is one that, and Jeff Shepard's a great driver, definitely runs the mouth, for sure. They always called him Jeff. Raymer had the best victory speech. Because Shepard won the week before and was talking shit. So Raymer wins next week, and he's like, you know what? He's like, everybody wants to call him Jeff the Jet. He's like, I call him the Mouth from Maryland. So then you got half the booze and half the, Raymer was never one to mix words. So I got him at 4. At 3, we had the same. I got Snake and Mongoose on that one. That was one. I went back and forth, Snake and Mongoose or Big Daddy and Shirley Muldowney. That was the other one that was kind of which one do I put in there? At 2, I have Earnhardt and Gordon. And like you said, they weren't. They definitely weren't enemies by any means. They put together, I think it was Chase Athletics, where they did merchandise and T-shirts and diecast and made a buttload of money. So it's but on the track, oh yeah, I mean there was a couple times that Earnhardt would get in there and get him loose, and and Gordon would.
I mean, who wasn't? Who he didn't do that to?
So and I was at number 1. This is the one I got Steve Kinser and Sammy Swindell.
Okay, number 1.
Oh yeah, they were, and like you said,
we'll bring that up to Sammy. I think he'll appreciate that.
We got and that's just one of those things. Steve was probably more of a finesse driver, and Sammy's more of a balls out, breaks it for pussies type driver. So it definitely, the styles mixed together a little bit, and the tempers did flare on occasion. I've witnessed that already. I've seen. And if you don't know, Steve Kinser's a big guy. He was state wrestling champ. Sammy's not. But that Sammy's the little dog going up against the Rottweiler coming down through there. He just thinks he's. And I told Steve, I seen Steve tell him to turn around and go back, or don't come down here, you son of a bitch, or something like that. It was.
Yeah. Well. Awesome. Well, we will definitely bring it up to Sammy when we talk to him. Excited about that. In case you guys didn't catch it, yes, we will be talking to Sammy Swindell, and it will be released in a bonus episode coming up, likely middle of this month, and we'll be talking to him before too long. I do want to give an honorable mention to a rivalry that just a broad one as well. Rain versus anything in motorsports, because Rain just screws up everything. Specifically dirt racing, and if you have rain in the morning and it just floods the whole damn track, you just ain't no way you can bring that back.
There's nothing more miserable being on a dirt track in the rain. It's just awful.
Well, the good thing nowadays is that specifically the Outlaws, they will call a race very early so that teams don't even have to make the trip to the track.
It seems to be there for a while. They just wanted to get everybody in the stands and sell.
Yeah, thank you.
Now they're starting to understand how much it costs just to open up the racetrack. How much?
Yeah, shit. Williams Grove will cancel 2 days before. I'm like, oh shit, we had rain.
I don't hate them for that.
No,
gives you time to be like, hey, Williams Grove cancel. Let's either race somewhere else.
We've been on the way to the track and actually got into the track, and they were like, oh yeah, we're gonna cancel now. Oh okay, we're already.
Oh
here.
yeah, we've
30
been
minutes
unloaded. It's like you're not going to race.
Yeah.
But if you're running the points, you got to be there.
Well, I think that's going to do it for this week, everybody.